pessoal, eu sou o Ricardo Alves e dando sequência aqui à nossa série de entrevista com nativos. Dessa vez eu vou entrevistar o britânico Thomas. O Thomas ele é meu amigo já por alguns anos e nós fizemos aí uma conversa bem informal para mostrar para vocês aí como que é essa conversa mesmo no dia a dia. Eu trago aqui essas entrevistas que nós fazemos aqui é para mostrar um pouco como que essas pessoas são pessoas comuns do dia a dia, né? É um pouco diferente do que você vê às vezes na televisão, às vezes um pouco de glamour quando você olha as pessoas no exterior, e na verdade essas pessoas são comuns como a gente, né? Com várias formas aí de pensar, de agir, de trabalhar, mas como a gente também. Então, claro que com opiniões diferentes, são pessoas aí que têm seus medos, suas dificuldades, seus objetivos, e aí eu vou compartilhar um pouquinho disso com vocês. Espero que vocês gostem. E eu fico muito feliz de fazer esse tipo de entrevista, que era um objetivo que eu já tinha há muito tempo. Porque para mim, vindo de uma família humilde, cidadezinha pequena de interior, muitas vezes isso é meio que... Você pensa que isso é algo impossível de alcançar. Não é, você demanda, claro, um maior esforço, maior dedicação, maior empenho, mas é possível sim. É possível mesmo que às vezes sem apoio algum do governo, né? Você se prepara aí alguns anos, como eu fiz, e você consegue você consegue viver essa experiência. E quando você volta, você consegue levar isso se você quiser voltar, né? Tem pessoas que não querem voltar e tá tudo bem. Mas quando você volta para o seu país de origem, com essa bagagem, com esse conhecimento, é natural que você consiga contribuir mais para a sua comunidade, né? Trazer aí visão diferente, opinião diferente, de coisas que você viu lá fora e você acaba ajustando a realidade local, né? Então, tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar. Então tem muita entrevista vindo por aí, muita história para contar e dividir com vocês. E eu espero que vocês aproveitem o máximo, tá bom? Mandem perguntas, aquilo que vocês quiserem que eu pergunte aos nativos, né? Eu sempre tenho o meu roteiro, mas eu gostaria também da participação de vocês. O que vocês querem saber dessas pessoas aí? Então vamos logo para a entrevista, sem enrolação. Bye bye. Thomas, how are
Hello.
you?
Good, Ricardo. How are you?
I'm very good. It's nice to see
Nice,
you. I don't see you for
nice to see
ages.
you. Your lighting is looking a bit more professional than mine. I'm just on my balcony right now. You look
Thomas,
like you have
where
a
are you?
proper light. I'm in Darwin, in northern
Darwin.
Australia.
I don't see you for ages. How have you been?
Yes, I have been well. I was having some minor health issues when I was still in Melbourne. And yeah, my fitness was just like not good. So I had to do a lot of getting back to cycling and running and stuff, and I'm feeling more myself again now. But I think the cold weather in Melbourne didn't help me. It was making me really ill. You know, I'm used to this weather, but this is not why I came to Australia for this cold.
Are you
But
enjoying the weather in the north? Because this is hotter than
it's
here.
it's a lot hotter. It's about 30 degrees most days, and about
Wow.
20 degrees in the night. So it's really perfect and
Seems like Brazil.
sunny.
Brazil
No
is
rain.
similar. 30
No,
degrees,
it's
28.
very humid though. Like even like I'm sweating right now, like on the balcony. But I like it. I can't complain about it. It's nice.
That's good. First of all, I'd like to ask, to tell you how much I love you, because we are friends
Oh,
for a couple of years, and we
a
lived
little
together
while.
the hardest moment of the lockdown here in Melbourne. Uh,
What
as you know, it's
moment
difficult.
was the hardest moment was living with me? Is that what you said?
I didn't mean that. The lockdown. Thomas, as
I
you
know.
know, people go and come all the time, and it's difficult sometimes. You build a strong relationship, strong friendship. Thomas, tell me
So
more about yourself. I'd love to know more about your story. Who are you?
who am I? Wow, it's so deep. I'm not ready for such deep questions. So I'm of British background, obviously. I've been living in Australia about 5 years now. Well, it will be 5 years actually in October. And I am traveling since 2018, 2017, traveling in Asia, and so I've not been living in the UK for like a long time, but obviously the British are very much part of my personality and part of who I am as I sit here and drink British tea on the
Definitely.
Instagram live feed right now.
The tea is a part of your culture.
For sure, you live with me. You know my how I.
So, as I've done before with Vincent, I'm gonna tell you what I know about the British culture, and then you tell me if it's true or not.
Yes. So I'm laughing because my friend Libby has just joined in the comment section. So hi Libby. She's gonna be laughing because I talked to her when I was.
What I know about you, about the British culture is every people from the UK that I've met, they are very respectful, very kind, very the sense of humor. I cannot humor.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not landing, it's not translating. Since even to Australian jokes, the British humor doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I see.
Sometimes it's like it's.
Where does it come from? Because people say the British sense of humor is the best in
I
the
think
world.
we're just very like sarcastic. I think with our humor, like if you were to generalize it, I think if you compare it to like the US, where it's I'm not the best person to describe it, I guess, but it's like it's more like you say things that people shouldn't take it too seriously because it's meant as part of a joke, that sort of thing.
That's
But
good. And what do you miss from home?
What do I miss? Besides my family and my friends, I think I miss the food the most, I will say. Which is ironic because I think British, it's not known for, amazing food and amazing spices, but
But
I
what
think
is your best
you miss
dish?
what you're used to. So I miss simple things like roast dinners, which we would have most weekends. Which you can have here. I can have that here, but it's just not the same as back home, And I miss in the north where I'm from. It's a lot of bakeries, a lot of that sort of thing, like dessert sort of food. And we have a thing called flapjacks, which is like oats with syrup, and it's a very English staple food, which you get everywhere, but it doesn't exist in Australia. You can make it easily, but it doesn't exist here. So
I think
things like
the
that.
same thing when you go in a restaurant here, like in Brazilian restaurant, you try the food. It's not the same. Looks like it's missing something.
Some things just don't taste the same, and even like milk and meat, it's tasting different here. And when you have a McDonald's, for instance, the burgers are different because the beef is different. Like there's different things inside it, So when I go home, it's definitely what I look forward to.
Lovely. And why Australia?
Why Australia? I think originally I just wanted to explore somewhere new, somewhere far away from England, like because I wanted to get away. I didn't want to just be somewhere where I could come home easily. I wanted to go far, and Australia seemed like it was obviously far, and the weather was. I understood the weather was nice all the time, which I know now that's not true. And obviously the English, I'm not someone that speaks a different language, so coming somewhere where everyone speaks English was obviously comforting, I guess, for me, like for that.
We speak
I'm not
another
talented
language
like you,
or only
Ricardo,
English?
for learning language.
Sorry?
I said I'm not talented like you with the language skills.
Okay, what about the comparisons that you make when you talk about health, education, public transport? For example, when I came to Australia, I met an Italian guy. He told me about the public transport because my reference was, oh, he's the best place in the world to live. And then he told me, this public transport is terrible. I prefer from London because I lived there for 5 years. And then I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of it's a different thing. So London is very much like a separate country in a way, because I'm not from London, so but I know in London, like obviously you have the tube network, which is very developed and you can get everywhere very easily. But the rest of England, the government didn't really spend the same money, you know. So coming from the north of England, where the infrastructure is not, it's not as good, you know. So it takes a long time to get around if you're not driving. If you're just relying on trains, it can take a while. And I think this is more a problem with, yeah, like with back home, with like the politics and the government. They don't want to spend money outside of London. It's a difficult one. But if I compare it to Melbourne, where we met and where we've lived, Melbourne, I think for me has a fantastic
Where is
public
your
transport
hometown?
system.
What is the name?
I was born in Leeds, and I grew up
Leeds.
in Yorkshire, which is the county. Leeds is the biggest city, but I grew up more rural, we say, which regional. But Leeds is my city, and I studied in Manchester. But they're both northern cities, and they have buses and some trams and stuff, but it's not anywhere near the level of like Melbourne, which is so, for me, it's just so easy. Melbourne's so easy to live without driving.
So for you,
Probably
the public transport is good.
is good. It's great in Melbourne. It's really, yeah,
Okay.
fantastic. Yeah, I think
Beautiful.
so. Elsewhere in Australia is obviously harder. So where I am right now, it's not, you know, you need to drive, or for me, I'm on my bike now to get around, you know, so yeah.
That's good. Have you been in London probably? Because
Yeah,
I've got my question is, have you ever seen the Queen?
Queen. I've never seen the Queen with my eyes. Um, no, but we see her a lot on the TV and on newspapers, and every year she would give a speech. You know, now it's the King, but before was the Queen's speech on Christmas Day every year, which typically we don't watch. I think maybe some more traditional people will watch this, you
Let's
know,
see.
but typically it's not
Yeah,
something that.
that's my next question. Since the death of the Queen, what has changed so far with in the UK with the
I
new king?
think nothing really practically changes, you know, everything is the same, but I think a lot of a lot of interesting conversations have come up now about the relevance of the monarchy, you know, in 2023. The relevance is, do we still need this? Is this still something that we should be holding on to? And everybody only remembers the Queen. Nobody really, there's no one alive that would remember a time before the Queen. You know, really, like even my grandparents only ever knew the Queen. So it's like, it's interesting for people now to have something different. And in Australia too, because the head of state in my home is still the head of state here, you know, politically. So it's a very interesting conversation, I think, for Australians with what they will do moving forward, you
Yeah,
know.
can you
Very
imagine?
interesting.
70
But
years is a
practically
long time.
nothing changes, I think. I went home twice since the death of the Queen, and it's the same country that I remember.
What do you think about the young generation? What they think about the monarchy? They don't care
um,
much, or
yeah,
they
I think
think
typically, so okay, I'm the eldest of my brothers, and it tends to be like the younger they go, the less they like the monarchy, I think. I think the younger generations are very like, they see it for a lot of the problems that it is, like a lot of the how it tied back into the British Empire and all of the big, you know, those things that were not good. I think a lot of younger people see all that stuff now, and they're really critically thinking like, do we still need it? Is it still something that is important for British culture and what it means to be British? But a lot of other people still think it probably is. It's, you know, it's it's part of our national identity, I guess, like having the monarch. But my own personal opinion, I don't know where I stand. I don't know what other system would work, but maybe like republic style. I don't know. But I'm not the big fan of King Charles himself. I'm not a big fan.
That's very
I
controversial.
would like to have William or Harry. They will be nice kings. Yeah.
What about the best place to visit in the UK? Is there something? Is there any place that you'd like to recommend for
That I can
someone like
recommend.
from
I
Brazil
think,
who never visit?
unfortunately, I think when you come from somewhere, you often didn't see a lot of it. So I've been to a few nice places in England, but probably there was a lot more to see that I didn't see. I can say the Lake District is very nice. It's in the north, and it's beautiful lakes, like mountainous, sort of, ground, and it's very nice in the summer. There's other parts too, like Scotland is known to be a very nice place to visit, very scenic. But there's not, like, in terms of like comparing beaches to Australia, it definitely doesn't compare. And we don't even say beach, we say the seaside. We'll go to the seaside for a nice day, and have fish and chips. It's a very typical typical thing to do. I'm trying to think of other places to tell you, but maybe Cheddar Gorge is where my auntie lives. It's another mountain that you can climb. It's very nice.
You can do hiking.
You could do hiking. You could do there's lots of hiking trails and cycling. Lots of this stuff, I guess. Yeah.
When are you coming back to Melbourne?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I always come back to Melbourne, but this time I really don't know.
I regret the last time you came, I couldn't see you.
I know, we were busy lives. But also, I think you are living more further out of Melbourne now than you used to, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's harder for you, I think.
It's a bit harder. Yeah.
But like I say, it's still, for me, it still feels like it's easy on the trains. I don't know. How far out are you? Like, how long's your train ride?
Actually, I take 15 minutes walking to the station, and then 30 minutes from the station to the city.
So it's quite far then. Yeah, it's quite.
It's a bit far. The reason why I invited you was to share with my people from back home, a little bit about the benefits of English, because English help us to connect with people like you. You can learn a lot.
English language, yeah.
Exactly. Because I met many people from many countries, and English definitely connect us.
Yeah.
And it's more than a language. It's something that definitely bring more knowledge for us. And I'm glad to have you as a friend as well.
Privileged to be born, obviously, as a native language, which is so widespread and so easy. I can go most places in this world, and with English, I can go a long way just speaking to people, and so but it makes you lazy. I think a lot of people from the UK will have a lazy approach to learning another language because English it's so widespread, and it's not right. Like, I wish I paid more attention in school for French and Spanish and German, all these languages we learn, but there was no motivation for me as a kid to pay attention, and I think a lot of other kids had that lazy mentality when it comes to learning another language. And unfortunately, British people have that reputation, I think. In Europe, when we go abroad, we unfortunate. But yeah.
I'd like to invite you to visit my country as well.
Ricardo, I would love to. I'm sure I will one day make a trip to Brazil and South America. Like, it's very high. I need to maybe brush up on my language, on my Portuguese. You never gave me any lessons. I live with you.
Talking about Portuguese, I'm gonna teach you something before
Okay.
we
Okay.
finish. As you know, I'm from a small town. My hometown has about 30,000, calls Prata. That's why my YouTube channel calls Prata da Casa. It's an expression that you usually use there.
Ah, I didn't know that was why.
Yeah.
Is this going on your YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Perfect.
gonna improve, of course. I'm gonna put some captions and to make to help everyone to follow us
Yes.
to understand what we are
Ah, yeah.
talking about
Captions
here.
in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Make-
So I'm gonna teach you another expression
Uh-huh.
that you use there.
Okay,
You're
go
gonna say
very slowly.
very slowly. You're gonna say prata,
Prata,
vale,
Vali,
ouro,
Oru,
ouro.
Oru, Oru. I can't roll my L. Prata, Vali, Vali,
Vale, ouro.
Prata,
Prata, vale,
Vali,
ouro.
Olu. Prata, Vali, Olu. Orlu. And what am I
Beautiful.
saying? What am I saying?
It means silver is worth gold. Because actually prata means silver
Ah,
in English.
why does it have that name? Is it because
It's a old story.
from my, is it a, okay, I see it as Prata Valley Ola? Ola? Ola?
Awesome.
Prata
Ouro,
Valley Ola.
golden. Thomas, thank you very much. It was very nice to talk to you.
All right, Ricardo. Nice to talk to you too. I miss you.
I miss you so
I miss you very
much.
much. I love you, and
I
whenever I
love you
next come to
too.
Melbourne, I'll be giving you the biggest hug, and yeah, we'll be catching up properly
I'm waiting
next
for
time.
that.
Yes. Or you're gonna come and
Uh,
visit me in the sunny north of
Please,
Australia
before June, yeah.
before.
In June, I'm going
I,
home.
I think I could forever,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay,
Maybe.
maybe
I
that's
don't
a
say
different
forever.
conversation.
We never know.
Okay, okay.
Bye bye.
I can
Have
manage
a
that.
good night.
Okay, Ricardo. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks for having me.